Hello everyone and welcome to Computron Week Day 3. Today we take a look at Unite Warrior's Nose Cone. Nose Cone is a slight retool of Combiner Wars Rook, only this time he sports a very large drill assembly and tank treads. Now the tank treads don't do anything obviously, but there are small wheels underneath here that cause it to roll. The drill itself is on a 4-click system. It rotates and clicks about 4 times a revolution, and the point is actually spring-loaded, I guess, so people can't jab their eyes out with it. But he's this medium color brown mostly, with some light orange all over the place. He's got this darker brown accenting some of these panels, and he also has some silver obviously on the drill, this front piece here, and then this cockpit right here is also detailed in silver. A lot of the original detailings from the Rook mold are still present here, but they are accompanied by new detailings with the treads. You can see these armor platings here, and these guns right here along the front of the drill tank. The weapons on this guy are very, very customizable. They ask you to put these guns here in vehicle mode, but you don't have to leave them there. You can, you can unplug them, which does unfortunately, leave his hands right there. You can't really hide the fact that the hands are there. They aren't covered up in any way, but the guns do manage to help conceal them a little bit. It just looks like a part of the gun assembly, but you could tab them in back here along the back of the vehicle. You could tab them in along the side. You could do all kinds of stuff with it. I prefer to leave them here in front, right alongside the cockpit. I think it just makes the front end look a little bit more whole. It kind of covers up some of the gaps, at least from some angles, and that is how the instructions want you to have those guns placed. So there's that. He does come with a rifle, which is painted this orange color, but it's molded in that brown plastic, and you could stick it up here on his back. You could stick it on the side just like the other one, or you could place it here along the top, and it's actually cut out almost perfectly to fit right there, so you kind of get this 3-gun assembly up top here. He also has his own hand-foot gun in this maroon plastic. It is actually Alpha Bravo Blades Vortex. It's that hand-foot gun, so you can fold it up and stick it pretty much anywhere. So yeah, there's his drill tank mode.
Nose Cone takes an already great mold and adds some extra flair. He's definitely identifiable as a Rook retool, but the changes are significant enough to make this mold feel both fresh and familiar at the same time. Transformation is the same as Rook and Hound. The only notable difference is the way the drill assembly folds up along his back. The mechanism functions similarly to how the canopies on Rook and Hound fold up, but you have to rotate the drill 180 degrees.
Here in robot mode, his color palette has changed just a little bit. His arms remain that medium brown with the orange right there, and his hand, which I thought was dark brown, but it's actually crimson. His torso is a solid block of white with just a little bit of that crimson detailing here around the sides and at the crotch panel there. He has that light brown from the treads there accenting the side of the chest, and he does have a very teeny tiny Autobot logo right there. Moving down, the legs are predominantly orange and light brown with some yellow accents, but the knees are white, so it just throws a little bit of extra color in there when you're looking at him from a upward angle. The head is that very nice orange, and you can see he's got that white crest there at the top. His face is silver, and his eyes are very light blue, but they're set so far back in the sculpt, they end up looking dark blue, but if the light hits them right, you can tell that they are that very nice light blue. His weapons are just as customizable here in robot mode. I left these guns in his hands after transformation, but I much prefer to remove them and plug them in right here on his shoulders. Give him just a little bit of a different silhouette. And so that not only adds some extra orange to his shoulders, but it also frees up his hands to either equip his rifle, like so. You have to plug it in like that because it's the way the hands are. So you can equip his rifle like that. Or if you want to get fancy, you can take the drill off his back. It just is plugged in back there. And you can plug it on like that, and he can wield the drill as a weapon. And because this drill has that type of peg, that means that you can use this with any other Combiner Wars character. They can hold this as a weapon, which is very, very nice. It's a very unique weapon, and if you don't want it, you can just store it right there on his back again. Another cool thing, because he does have Rook's hands, you can do the air quote Hulk hand mod and plug this right there and give him a huge hand if you want. So definitely the most customizable in terms of weapons, and I think it's really, really good, and I like all the options you can give him. It just gives him a little bit more character. Posability is pretty standard. You've got your head on a ball joint, and it's got a very, very slight forward rock. His shoulders, you can use that transformation joint, but they're on this ball joint with a cutout to the side. You get the upper elbow rotation, the elbow rotation, which goes about 90 degrees. It's a little bit more heavily ratcheted than previous versions of this mold. You get your hip rotation here, your waist rotation, your hip rotations here with a cutout to the side. You get your knee bend, and then because this is the Rook mold, you do get that awesome ankle tilt right there that really helps get him into some solid poses, especially with this heavier backpack. This is one of the more polarizing figures in the set because he and his counterpart are so different.
The Hasbro version used the Brawl mold and a more toy-accurate color scheme.
Obviously, you know how I feel about that. The toy colors never appeal to me. It just is all wrong. You've got chrome, crimson, mustard yellow, and a color I can only describe as gray-green.
This version sports a more cartoon-accurate color scheme.
Some people call this baby diarrhea brown, and they're right. It's a very fecal-looking color.
The difference is that brown is offset by dark brown, orange, and white. The colors complement each other.
More to the point, this guy's a drill. His vehicle mode belongs underground, so the earth tones totally make sense, and it's cartoon accurate, so bite me.
Nosecone completes what I call the Combiner Wars Trinity. 3 figures based on the same mold, yet each one is unique and full of character. In my opinion, Rook, Hound, and Nosecone represent what Combiner Wars was all about.
Nosecone takes a great mold and throws a new spin on it. His weapons are fun and customizable, and he's a great representation of the character. Thanks for watching Computron Week. I'll see you tomorrow.